We're looking at a really tender, beautiful burger, and we're gonna cut into it. But let me share with you a little factoid that I learned at today years old, 57, that the #1 reason that people have a favorite butcher, go into the butcher shop, frequent it all the time on a weekly or bi-weekly basis, is to buy ground beef. Why, you say? I can get ground beef at my local grocery store. I can get ground beef somewhere else. Well, from Rastelli, our #1 food brand, who actually serves the world's only 7-star restaurant, their meats and chops, you can actually go into Ray Rastelli's butcher shop when you order this right here. And I was like, Ray, why do they come here? Why do they come to your butcher shop? He was like, the butcher shop, you know your source. He's been sharing that with us the entire time. You actually know what's in your ground beef. Have you ever thought about, is it just ground beef in my ground beef at the grocery store? Well, let me tell you, you're gonna get educated. This is 3 pounds at that easy pay of $16.33. Or you can double up and get 6 pounds at that easy pay of $25.66. When you do so, you save almost $21, and it's gonna ship to you for free. It's ground beef from our award-winning Ray Rastelli, #1 food brand. You also know their seafood, of course, because they bring us Egg Harbor. We're super privileged and proud that they're here, always doing today's special values on steaks and burgers. But this, for once, you decided just to give us the ingredients that everybody goes to your store for.
I did, Rachel, and this is so important to me. As I will tell you, as a butcher, for 48 years, the folks that come into butcher shop, they measure your butcher shop on the quality of your ground beef.
Right.
Where it comes from, how it's ground, what's the farms, the people behind it. And I want to, it's so important. So I'm going to take you to the meat block.
Sure.
Because it really tells the story. When we go to a grocery store and we buy ground beef, do we really know what we're buying? Most cases you don't. You don't know the farm. You don't know how many times it's been previously frozen. You really don't know if it's imported or if it's domestic. And most importantly, you don't know where it comes from on the animal. It could come from anything. It could be cheek meat. It could be head meat. It could be loin meat. It could be anything, scraps that fall off to make ground beef. That's not what we do in the butcher shop. This is a solid muscle roast. When folks come into the butcher shop, they don't buy ground beef. They pick out a specific roast that they like this beautiful chuck, and they say grind it and make me ground beef because I know where it's coming from and I know what I'm getting. That's what we've done here. We've taken these beautiful chucks that come in fresh to us, that have never been frozen, all domestic, and actually only 5 days from harvest. We don't want to age ground beef. We want it to be fresh. And of course, then we grind it to make our ground beef, our Black Angus ground beef. Now, the lean content is about an 82% lean. Now you'll ask why? Well, it's simple, because the natural leanness in this roast is 82% lean. So we don't play with different scraps and pieces. You know exactly what you get, and you will taste the difference.
And the tasting the difference is a really big story, right? So we're looking at this burger. You're going to taste the difference if it's a burger that you're making, if it's chili that you're making, if it's stew that you're making, if it happens to be a roast that you're making, you know, a meatloaf that you're making. I am a straight up carnivore, as you know, Ray Rastelli. I love ground beef. You know, for your pasta, your spaghetti, your bolognese, it is the ingredients that count. 3 pounds, that's not $54. We're under $49, or 6 pounds that isn't that is $84. I think that's what I'm seeing on the screen because I can't see. We're at $77. You've got the easy pay that you can take advantage of. Shipping and handling is free. It's M68536. That's your item number. There is an auto delivery. You're going to save close to $21 when you double the amount. They're going to come in 1-pound packages, so it's easy for you to squirrel away in your freezer and freeze. And let's talk about the flavor, right? You said it's 82%. I mean, honestly, when you go to the grocery store, they're like, what kind of lean do you want? Do you want 80? Do you want, you know, 90? Like, what kind of lean? There's kind of this range.
Such a great point, because 90% lean ground beef is going to taste pretty much like cardboard.
Wow.
It's going to have no taste. 70% lean ground beef is going to be very, very fatty, lots of grease. That's why the 80 to 83% for me is absolutely the most perfect, because you get the perfect flavor profile you want, you get tenderness, texture, but you don't get the fat, the normal fat that comes from something that's a lot fattier. And of course, you can do so much with it. It's that blank canvas. We've done a burger here How about a Salisbury
Sure.
steak that's truly going to be a steak when you actually cut into it? We've done some chili here. Here's actually, this is a
That's a
bolognese.
bolognese. We
Here's
got
our
the chili
chili, and
over here.
the chili is one of my favorites because you really will taste the difference in the ingredient itself, because it's black Angus. It's nice and lean from a standpoint of being able. There you go. You can put some
And
of
it's
that.
still from your small family farms that you always are talking about.
And Rachel, that's the most important thing that we actually bring. How about a meatloaf? And this,
Yes.
this one is one of my favorites
Mine
because
too.
it just is simple, right? But when you start with great ingredients, you've actually got something that is going to be exceptional on that plate. I mean,
So
look at
here's
how
what we're talking
beautiful.
about. We are talking about ground beef, but it's not the ground beef that you're going to find in your grocery store. Ground beef purchasing is the #1 reason people actually find their favorite butcher. And to that point, you are the favorite butcher. I know that you've got the phrase, we don't ever give to our guests anything that we wouldn't serve to mom. That's how proud they are. We love it that they're our #1 food brand. It's M68536, 3 pounds or the 6 pounds. The easy pay, $16.33 or $25.66, saving close to $21 on that buy more and save. All coming to you in the 1 pound packages that are vacuum sealed. I'm going to get this home. How long will this last in the freezer, Ray?
That's going to last for 12 months. And
12 months.
that vacuum seal is not only going to keep in the freshness, keeps out the bacteria, but it's also the perfect size because it's 16 ounces,
Correct.
which means you can use it for any type of recipe. Cut it in half and you've got 8 ounces. So it makes it really simple. I did a stuffed burger with mozzarella cheese in here. So think about starting with the best ingredients you can. And ground beef is by far the most widely sought after and bought protein item in the butcher shop.
Best ingredient. Thank you, Ray Rastelli. It is M68536. That's your item number. Put these in your cart. Check out your bolognese will be more bolognese. Your meatloaf will be more meatloafy. It will be absolutely amazing. Okie dokie. And you know what?